Okay, so now I'm ready to mount the arm rail and getting ready to bore what I feel's the most important hole on the chair, and the one that you need to take a lot of time with. Don't be in any rush or anything. And that's this hole right here, this one right here, where for the arm support. That's going to set the stage for this whole back here. So here's the sight line right there, running from the point where I'm going to be drilling the hole, shooting it off of this number 2 spindle there. And I'll be drilling it at 26 degrees and be mounting it on the bench, so you'll be able to see how I hold it and how I do that. And then I'll be tapering these holes with I usually taper them with a 4-degree reamer, I believe on that, but I'll show you that. And as I'm tapering them, getting this arm rail just at the right drop. So it's dropping slightly. If it's level with the seat, it'll look like it's tilted up. It won't look good. And so you want it drop slightly. And this is where it gets kind of difficult, because it's a whole lot of just how's it look. So as I'm reaming it in, I'm just going to be looking at it, and I'm going to be trying to show you what I'm looking for. So this hole is going to be positioned 2 1/4, as it shows right here, 2 1/4 from the front edge of the handhold, and then the spindles are 3 inches on center there. And so how this arm lays, of course, is dependent upon how I ream this and then what this bend is here. And you see, I've got it listed as 113-degree arm bend. Well, I mean, obviously I don't pay any attention to that. I had to come up with something there. So what I look for actually is a measurement from this point to the tip of the handhold to be 22 3/4 of an inch. And I'll measure that for you and show that. And that's just a starting point. So this, I might have confused you greatly here, but hopefully I'll straighten a lot of this stuff out as we go on. So let's move on over to the arm, and I'll hopefully be successful with showing you how to do this. Okay, well, the first thing before I start drilling holes is just look my arm over and see if there's any changes that need to be made on it right now. And I can make those changes with a heat gun, a paint stripper gun. In fact, I can do about anything I want with the paint stripper gun to it. But one of the first things is to see if there's a twist to it, to see if this back right here is that way or that way. And you can look at it right like that and kind of see, but if you put it up against the bench like that, then you can side over it, and you can see if it's running like that or like that. And this one's really good, so I'm not going to mess with it. The way that you would fix it is, let's say for instance it was twisted this way, then you would want to pull this side back, and so I would clamp it in the vise right here. So like maybe right over here, show you in this tail vise. I'd clamp it right in the tail vise right like that, and then I would move it the way that I would want to move it, like that, and then I'd take a heat gun and put it on an area, trying to hit even right across the center, so the same amount on this side is on this side, and heat it right like that, and making sure I'm not going to let it spread, because it might spread also. But all I want to do is just take that twist out of it, and I'd run it on it really close, heat it up for 5 to 10 minutes, and then put the heat gun down. And this is a paint stripper gun, 1500-watt paint stripper gun, and put it down, hold on to it for a little bit, and then let it go and see what you did. So that would be the way to straighten that out if you have that. So let's see what else that I do. So another thing is looking to see, and this is related to that, looking to see if these arms are coming off at about the same angle. And you can put it right up here once again and see that. Sometimes I'll have one that comes down and shoots off that way a little bit more than the other one. One of them's straight. Once again, you can change that with a heat gun. You would be moving it right like that and heating up this area right here, making sure you don't open up the elbow bend, but you straighten up the handhold. Okay, so another thing that I look for is, are the elbows bent about the same? And so I just side across it for that, and it looks like they're close. This one right here is a little more open than this one, I think. Let's look at it close again. Yeah, this one's just a tad bit more open than this one is. Open right here. In other words, there's more of an angle on this side than there is on this side. And then another piece of information that I like to have is, do those handholds tilt out about the same? And I can see that, of course I don't look at them like that, I was trying to show that to you. Look at them like this right here. And I see that this one is tilted out more than this one is. I like the look of this one just a little bit more. Whether or not I mess with it, you know, that could be 6 of one, half dozen of another. It's pretty close and maybe not even worth messing with. But once again, I would do that with a heat gun, and I might just fix it and match it up to this one just so I can show you how I do it with the heat gun and the vice grips. So then the other thing I was talking about, the 22 3/4 inch measurement over there on the plans, and where I'm talking about is from the center of the back up at the top and measuring to the tip of the handhold, and I've got 22 11/16 on that one. And 22 15/16. And you know, this was the one I said was open just a little bit more, and that's where that is. That's the 1/4 inch difference between them. I could go ahead and bore the holes now and mount it on the chair and all that. There's different ways to deal with that. I like to start dealing with it right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten up this elbow bend just a tad bit to where it matches the measurement of this one, and then I'm going to show you how I change that handhold. Maybe I'll do the handhold first. Okay. Okay, so I've got it in the vise here, and I'm going to twist this handhold. And two things I always check and recheck, and that's one, that I'm moving the handhold that I want to be moving, because I've done the opposite before, and I'm going to move it the right way. So I'm going to clamp these vice grips on it. These are sheet metal workers vice grips, and I've got the old bandsaw tires glued on it there. So I want to flatten it out slightly, so I'm going to pick up on that, and you can see the power I have over that. Now I'm going to try to not mess with that elbow bend right there. So right in through here is where the twist is taking place. And I'm going to just heat it up right there. And so I've got this fancy 1500 watt heat gun, and a lot of times if I keep the pressure on it while I'm putting the heat on it, I'll feel the wood fibers give just right through the vice grips there. It's real slight, but you can feel it. So okay, here I go. How I turn this thing on. You don't want to burn the wood. You'll catch it on fire with this thing. Okay, there it goes. I felt it give. Now, you know, what do you do with this thing? I got it holding in my hand here. I can't set it down on my bench. Should have thought about that. Okay, let's see what I got. What I do, melt it to it? No. Let me get rid of this thing first. See what that one is. Yeah, I guess they'll do. Okay, so overdid it. I got a little bit overzealous there. Let me look at that again. You know, you're looking at it upside down, so you gotta realize, yeah. It's tilting back the other way. Shows you what you can do with this thing. Lord mercy. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do now. Okay, now I want to put a little twist in it that way. Now it's going to take a lot less time to heat it up now because it's pretty warm probably still down in there. It's warm on my hand. I believe I got it that time. Oh yeah. Nice, perfect. I'm not going to put a rule on it, but I'd say it looks pretty daggone good. Now I'll measure again because I could have changed something in that elbow by heating that up. So before I start messing around with this one, I'm going to check here, and so it opened up a 1/16, so it's at 22 3/4, which is actually exactly what I want. And over here we're still at 15/16, so I'm going to try to close this elbow up 3/16. Now, could I put together the chair without doing this stuff right here? Yeah. And would the chair look okay? Yeah, it would look fine. I've put together a lot of chairs. You know, as years have gone by, I've gotten a little more anal and more anal about this stuff. And the reason why is the chair's just a little more pristine and it goes together better. And it's kind of fun. So here I go. I'm going to tighten up this elbow right here. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to try not to change the twist in the handhold. So I'm just going to slightly close it. Yeah, right. I was going to open it up. I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on that and close it up. Okay, I'll just hold it for a little bit here. I do have to find some way to hold that. Okay, let's measure again. .22 13/16. 16th difference, I like that, I'll take it. Okay. Now, as I was showing over there at the plans, two and a quarter inches in from the end of the handhold. And the short spindles are three inches on center. Off of the arm support. And I like to get it just about a hair to the outside of center line because I'm going in at an angle. Except on this one, that center line would push it out that way too far. So I put it, I don't know, let's just see what I put there. It's probably on the plan, something I made up. 11/16. Okay, now I'm ready to bore them, but I need one more measurement before I bore, which means I got to get the seat and the arm supports back up here. Alright, so the measurement that I'm needing is from there to there. So, easy one to get. Just kind of approximate where the top of the arm is going to be. And it doesn't have to be exact. So, 21 5/8. Okay? So, got that. Now I can set this over to the side. Oh, there you go. So I don't want to drill into my 200-year-old workbench. Yeah, need to get 2 clamps. Okay, now I know you're going to say, but he's flattening out that twist that he's got on the handhold. Yes, I am, but it's all figured in. All works out. So don't worry about it. Alright, so before I start drilling, I'm going to look and see if those arms are coming off at the same angle. And they're not. So I just hit it right there. Come on, move. Oop. Moved a little bit too much. Good. Go back. There we go. That looks good. So now they're even. Okay, and the sighting point is off number 2 spindle, which is 2 and 11/16. So I'm just going to be looking at that point. And now if you have a problem looking at that point, I'll get something. You could take some tape and run it right down through there right like that. But yeah, I don't use it, and I think you can learn how to do it without it, but that might be a little crutch that you might want to use. Alright, so I take the bevel square and set it up for 26 degrees. Let's check it. 26. And we'll set it up right in line with my sighting angle. And now you got to decide what kind of drill bit you're going to use. I'm going to use a spoon bit with an extension because I've got to lean back with this thing. A brad point works fine, but not too many drill bits. You can drill this with an auger bit. I've drilled it a lot of times with an auger bit, so yeah, you can drill it with that. It's a little steep for an auger bit, but you can make it work. So I need a scratch off. Still got my scratch off. Now there's 2 ways of starting a spoon bit that I've found. One is you can set it up just right beside where you've got the hole mark, and the spoon bit will make a circle right around it. So you don't set it right on the hole, you just set it right outside of it. And another way is you can grind an awl down to where there's 3 or 4 flats on it. So you've actually made corners in a little crude drill bit, and you can drill you a little hole there, and then the point of that spoon bit will sit right down in that hole, and it won't. You won't have to set it to the outside of it. So either way is fine. Either way you do it's fine. that. And so I'm going to start drilling it, and I'm going to end up down at that angle looking right at this point. So the siding line is on the number 2 spindle that's on the same side of the armrest. Okay, enough of that. Let's go. And I think I'm there. Yeah, looks good. I love these bits. Little pearly, everlasting flowers. You know, there you go. Get a close up of that little thing. Makes you want to keep them somewhere. Oh well. Okay. Let's go over here and drill this one. Okay. Okay, we're ready to start putting it on the chair.